Startup Spotlight, where we shine a light on the visionaries and disruptors who are shaping the future. I'm Jen Morgan, and today we bring you an exclusive interview with Ellora, aka Ellie McTaggart, president of Carolina Instruments. To kick us off, Ellie, could you tell us a little bit about your company?
So hi everyone, my name is Ellora, also known as Ellie McTaggart. I am the co-founder of Carolina Instruments, and that means that I lead our mission to make wearable precision eye tracking technology accessible for neuroscience researchers, ultimately with the vision of expanding its impacts into medicine to improve the clinical care and quality of life for different individuals.
It's really highly technical, highly medical. Could you tell me a little bit more about your previous experiences or influences that influence your role today? How did you get here? What's your background?
Just to give you a little bit of information about the company, we are a spinout from research labs at UNC Chapel Hill. So our company was created from a collaboration between a behavioral neuroscience research lab and an optical engineering research lab. And together we developed this wearable, camera-free approach to measuring pupil size and eye motion with high precision. A lot of people hear that and they're like, well, what's the actual value behind that? And in neuroscience, these signals are really valuable for understanding cognitive state and neural processes. So, as we're doing research, this technology has a lot of value for potentially supporting clinical applications by detecting subtle changes in your eye movement that can be linked to different conditions like autism, ADHD, Parkinson's, things like that. So, by making these eye movements easier to capture, our goal is to provide some insights in that a lot of the traditional eye tracking tools can miss, to get some more effective treatments earlier on.
That is way over my head. As somebody who has zero medical or technical background, um, do you have a background in biology or psychology? What got you into this?
So my background is in biomedical engineering. I've always been really passionate about developing technology that can make a meaningful impact on our society. I didn't really know which direction I wanted to take that through college, but I actually attended a lecture by my co-founder, my now co-founder, Dr. Nicolas Pegard, who's an engineer. And as he was speaking, I was immediately drawn to his work and joined his lab, and I started developing this pupil tracking technology. It started out as a side project and then really quickly grew into what I knew that I wanted to put all of my energy and effort towards. I saw a lot of value in it. And I kind of got to this stage where I've been developing this technology. It was working and I was really excited about it and knowledgeable about it. And I could either take it into a PhD and build my own research career around it, or I could explore if it had value beyond our own lab. So I diverged a little bit from the traditional academic biomedical engineering path, and I participated in the NC State I-Corps program, which is a customer discovery program where I talked directly to dozens of researchers, especially neuroscience researchers, and it allowed me to confirm that it wasn't just a valuable tool for us, but then also something that the larger neuroscience community really needed. So that was really a turning point for me in recognizing that if I had the opportunity, to be able to get the IP around this technology, take it and turn it into a startup to get it into the hands of other researchers, that was definitely a priority to me. And so even though business wasn't really on my radar through college, I didn't really expect to be leading a startup at this stage in my career. I knew that that was the right road to be able to expand my impact to this technology.
I think that is a really interesting path on how you got to where you are, especially in coming from the research side of things. And don't worry, the PhD is always going to be there. But could you tell me a little bit more about that moment when you realized that, hey, I think that I could build a business around this? Because obviously it's, not just the technology side of things, but the business side, and that comes with its own ups and downs and variables and all of that. So tell me more about that inspiration.
Once I saw the excitement on a lot of the neuroscience researchers' faces that I was talking to around the potential for this kind of technology and the impact it would have on their research, I it felt almost selfish to just take it into a project for myself. I wanted to see it actually get out into the hands of other researchers, into multiple different labs. And so from that point, it was just really more of how am I going to make this happen rather than what are all the potential barriers. And there have definitely been quite a few obstacles in learning curves and through the process, but I've really realized that one of my skill sets in academia and just in being an engineer wasn't necessarily only in my technical expertise, but I'm a very curious person. I love asking questions. I love a challenge. And for me, this whole new area of entrepreneurship was an opportunity for to learn this whole new realm of how things work outside of academia, but then also to grow my own skill set and to learn how to design towards a user and how to tell a story about a product and its value. And so that was another opportunity in itself, was just the ability to shift my career in this direction while still getting to follow this technology that I know and love very much.
That's really interesting. And you touched on this a little bit, but like, what are some of those challenges that you've encountered thus far? Was it really just like that shift from academia to business, or like what other challenges have you had? And if you've overcome some of them, how did you do that?
Yeah, I mean, I think like most founders, I've had the classic challenges, refining my pitch deck and the storytelling around the business, looking into funding and extending our runway. All of these are not uncommon experiences for founders and definitely ones that I've come across. But I think that one of my more unique challenges as I've gotten into this space is just being such a young female founder. I look around the room, there's not a whole lot of people who look like me or my age, and that's the case for a lot of underrepresented groups in the space. And it was a little bit of a challenge at the beginning for me to uh, convince people that I was worthy and capable of running this business, especially in biotech. So a lot of times I'll be at a networking event and I'll get some shocked reactions when I say that I'm a biotech founder. And I just take them as a compliment. It's not discouraging to me. I think that there are some moments where I feel more tempted than others to kind of respond to this unintentional bias. But my strategy for dealing with that is just leaning into what I've known to be my skill set for a while, which is just connecting with people. Asking them questions, learning about their journey, where they're coming from, where their interests are, their goals for the future. And that conversation in itself of wanting to know people and understand where their skill sets lie gives me an opportunity to tell my story and show my value in a more authentic way. And so, usually by the end of these conversations, people are much more open to the idea that I'm a founder and that this path is the one that's right for me. And maybe not everyone will be convinced, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. And at the end of the day, a lot of the people that I end up talking to are my biggest supporters and have been great mentors to me. So I'm really grateful for the startup ecosystem in general, for just the open community that has been created, and then my ability to connect with people and their willingness to support me along the way.
I think that you like hit the nail on the head on such a big challenge in the startup community and in a whole, just being young and being female and being in a traditional male field, trying to like continue to have those conversations and open those doors. You're doing a great job so far from what I know, and we love to continue to show off what you are doing. Uh, as you have like pivoted in this and found these challenges and obstacles, do you have any mentors or role models who've inspired you along the way of building this business?
Yeah, I kind of smile at this question because it feels like it would be easier for me to name the people who haven't inspired me at this point. I think that I've been so fortunate to meet so many really successful, supportive people. Like I said, in the startup ecosystem here in North Carolina, RIoT definitely being a great group that's been really supportive of me. And because of the amount of communicating and connecting that I like to do, I've really built a really broad network of mentors. And that in itself has really helped me see different situations from multiple angles, and then also pushes me to compare different people's opinions. A lot of the time they're contrasting, and I have to kind of trust my own judgment, and make decisions based off of my own decisions. And I'm really grateful to have multiple different opinions towards the things that I'm looking for advice, because it makes a better leader to be able to take the information that you have available and then make your own decisions based off of that. So I this has been very new to me in the past year, of having so many different mentors that can help me from so many different perspectives. And I think that it's made me realize that early in my research career, I leaned pretty heavily on the perspectives of people that I worked with. And ultimately, that would kind of lead me to mirror their thinking. And, there's a lot of brilliant people, and I'm really grateful for what I've learned from them. But I've realized that leadership is a lot more than just echoing the smartest voice in the room. And that a lot of the leadership skills that I want to build demands weighing these different perspectives and then making a call and sticking to it and owning my decision. So that broad mentor network has definitely been really huge in my development as a founder, to be able to take all of this different information from very skilled and generous people and use it in a way that leverages my growth and the company growth.
Yeah, I think that one of the things that RIoT really emphasizes when we work with our founders to find mentors is how many different opinions can we bring into that conversation, and two mentors in the same field but with vastly different views on how to approach something isn't always necessarily a bad thing, and it really helps a founder really grow and scale. Unlike science, it's not always as black and white, and business isn't always as black and white as some of the scientific research and scientific process really is. Um, in that, like, what advice would you give future entrepreneurs or founders based on your own experiences thus far?
I think that I always come back to the value of learning from others and having an open mind. Talk to people in your community, other peers, mentors, maybe even just people who are in a totally different field from you, and really listen to them. Because I think that it's a lot of times it's easy to write off other people's struggles or experiences as not yours right now, but you never know what of their advice or experiences could help you down the line. And so that's been something that I've really been trying to take with me throughout this journey is being a sponge and absorbing as much information as I can and listening to people and learning from them. And I think you'll hear a lot of founders say that the same goes for talking to your customers. You really need to listen to your customers to make sure that you're solving a real problem. And even if you have a great work ethic, you still need that market pull to have a successful company. So that's been something that has been drilled into me from a lot of the mentors and programs that I've participated in, is the need to talk to your customers. So those are the more objective things that I think in my career. I think that one of the other major things this year is preparing myself for the ups and downs. I knew that it would be a roller coaster in entrepreneurship, and that some days would test my limits, and other days would be awesome and exhilarating and remind me why I started. So for me, it's been about finding a balance between like making space for fun, but then also leaning into that grit and determination to get through the hard days. So, getting outside, moving my body. I like skateboarding. I like riding my bike. I like going on hikes with my dog, things like that to kind of help maintain the balance, because it can definitely be easy to get caught up in the workflow, but the sustainability would not come without the balance. And so I've been very intentional about making sure that I still do the things that bring me joy so that I can sustain it long term.
I think that's great advice for anyone and everyone at this point, especially as we're heading into the end of the year of 2025 and looking into the next year and such. But that's all the questions that we have for you today. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I hope you have a really great rest of your day.
Thanks, Jen. Appreciate you guys all at RIoT. It's been an incredible program so far, and I'm really grateful for all the support.
We appreciate you and appreciate all our founders. We can't wait to see what you all do.